can't figure out why I hated this thing so much. Well, hello, all of you string pickers out there. Welcome back to another video here at Obscene Studios. We have a special guest today. This hasn't happened in a while. This is my old buddy Jax. Jax is back here sleeping on the bench today. He's all tuckered out from a night of chasing rabbit, squirrel, all that other good stuff. So I'm not fussing with him because I don't have to work on any guitars today. If he wants to make the bench a bed, I'll just clean up his fur afterwards. Today's topic, processors on a budget. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say it. I used to hate this thing. When I first got it, I traded it because I had this older effects pedal board, you know, I just had to get rid of it and got this. These are about 6-7 years old, I think now, maybe 8, I'm not sure. But it's the Valeton or Valeton, ever how they pronounce that, GP-100 effects processing unit. When I first got this, I had this small amp that I was dealing with at the time. I don't care if you plugged in a $2,000 fractal into that thing, it would not sound good. It just wouldn't. So rather than blaming the amp, I blamed this. And recently acquired it back and thought I'd give it another shot because we all know that I run this thing into the ground. Absolutely run it into the ground. And then give it a second look, and it was awesome. Got rid of a couple of cons in the first video and turned in a couple of pros in the second video. So that's what we're going to do to this today. Once again, too many specs on this thing for me to remember. So right there's the specs. You guys can pause, look at them. There's lots of information there. I'll go over what I know. We have input, a stereo out, mono out, left and right. And we have an auxiliary. We have the headphone jack, a USB port, which is the reason why I wanted to give this a second look, mainly because the first time that I had this, I had a Chromebook, and that was the only laptop I had in the house. And it would not let me have the software to edit this with. So I had to do everything on screen. And I guess that was a bit frustrating. And it was the reason why I hated it. You know, another reason why I hated it. So, but yes, IR cabs. You can download user IR cabs. It's got a bunch of pedals. I think it was like 50 plus different kinds of pedals on this thing. All kinds of amps. Just for just a small package. I mean, look, it's like 6 by 8 inches, you know, small package. One con I will get out of the way right now is the expression pedal. If you ask me, I like full size pedals. I have a Nectar expression pedal that I keep hooked up to the headrush. This is actually something on the headrush I have a problem with too, because the headrush uses a small pedal. It has more range of movement, but I still don't like it. I just run an expression pedal off of that. But they should have got rid of this and then just give us an expression pedal outlet here so we could use wahs and stuff like that. But anyway, today I did run this through my Carvin and dialed it in, and it's awesome. Already made me feel guilty about giving this thing away to begin with. But the person I give it to never hasn't even used it. I asked for it back because I wanted to give it another shot. Recently, a video popped up online on YouTube, and I watched on this thing, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know it could do that. I didn't know it could do this. I didn't know the user interface was so, you know." So that's what we're going to look at today. We are going to plug this thing up through an interface. We are going to look at the software, which I have already downloaded to edit some of the sounds in this. And we're going to come back afterwards and we're going to talk about pros, cons, and whether or not I would want to keep this around for a while, which I can pretty honestly tell you, yeah, I would like, you know, guys, I don't need them. I really don't. I have a problem. I am a music equipment hoarder. If you can't tell, I mean, look, and I've pedals, amps. There's amps behind you guys. It's just, but that's okay. That's okay. I don't need therapy yet. Not yet. So let me get you guys set up. We're going to put you in on the computer screen, let you look at the software, and we're going to run through the interface, and we're going to check out some of the things that this pedal can do. This pedal costs about $149 on Amazon right now. Sometimes they run deals and you can get them for around $119. But considering everything that this thing does, all you really need is a guitar, an amp cord, and a good set of headphones, and this thing will do it all. I mean, it just does crazy stuff to be as small as it is. I expected nowhere near as much from it as I did, but it looks great. So you guys hang on, let's get set up, and we'll walk through the paces with this thing. Okay, guys, before we get started on the interface part of the software to where you can edit these, I just wanted to give you a closer look at the unit itself. We have a global setting here, a built-in drum machine, which is really cool. It's kind of, you know, but it's fun to play along with. Your edit to edit each one and to save, and then we have an exit button. You can scroll through most of the things on this by using this button, and then you have 3 different perimeters down here. One does the master volume, one does the BPM for like the drums, and then you have a P volume here. Now this is presets on the pedal. Really high gain. Sounds a whole lot different through the interface than it does through the carving. And let's go through to the next effect. We'll just do a couple of these. That's a little bit of gritty clean. And let's go to the next one. So yeah, that's basically how to use this, and it's fairly simple. If you want to edit one, you just edit, and then you can scroll through the different effects that it has. It has a lot more than 4. You just have to move over and you know, pick from there. But there's an easier way to do that with a lot bigger screen, so let's get to it. Okay, now this is the Valeton GP-100 user interface editing software kind of thingy. So basically what this is it lets you do anything to any one of these effects that you want. You can create, dial in, do whatever you want to do. So we are going to go back to effects number 1 that was so high gain. I mean, you have to admit that that's, you know, that's a bit scratchy. So we're going to do away with let's do this. Let's turn off Let's turn off the distortion to see what that sounds like. So let's look at this pedal. We have our gain down here. Our tone is kind of low and the volume is kind of up. Let's bring the volume back just a little bit. Let's drop the gain to about right here. And let's look at the amp. The amp is a Soldano. So let's look at the Soldano here. Looks like we've got our gain up quite a bit there. Let's dial that back. Okay, well that's not too bad. Also, this has a noise gate, which is pretty cool. You get a couple of different options on your noise gate. Noise gate 1 only gives you the threshold. Noise gate 2 lets you adjust attack and release. That's the one I kind of like out of this. And let's look at our pedals here. Okay, as far as our pedals go, we have got the green OD, which is like the Ibanez Tube Screamer. Let's swap that to the blues driver. That's a little bit better. Drop that tone at noon. Okay, let's go with the gain down just a little bit. Okay, that's not too bad. We can probably adjust the EQ, but we have other distortion pedals. It's labeled distortion here, but some of these are overdrive. Here's one called the Tube Clipper. Now, I kind of like that one. Let's raise the bass just a little bit. Drop the gain back just a little. Okay, we're needing that gain back. Let's bring it back to 12. Okay, now let's go over to our EQ. And our EQ, I have noticed that we get several EQs. We get this one, two, and then this one is a Mesa EQ. Okay, and let's see, we have delay, reverb, EQ, the modulation, and you can pick cabs. Let's go to the cabs. Let's show you what we got on the cabs. We are going through the Soldano 412, which basically this will pair up the cab with the amp, but you can change that. So all of those are basically just cabs that you can pick from there. And here's a really cool thing. The amps, if you click on this arrow down, look at all of these amps right here. This is just very impressive for this unit. Like I said, I don't know a lot of these because everyone uses different names. But let's go to this one. Turn on some modulation and delay. But yeah, you can see this is an extremely easy user interface for editing that you can do. So let's go to another. We'll cancel that one out. Okay, now you can pick from this menu right here which effect you want to go to, or you can just simply come up here and hit the arrow button. And let's go to number 3. And this has reverb on it, but we have not adjusted the reverb. And I'm sorry for the shaky video, guys. The stand that I've got my camera on is not all that. Okay, this is the reverb. Let's go and change the mix up a little bit. We want a little bit wetter sound. Also, you can turn your tails on. That way when you swap effects, the tails from the previous effect will bleed on out while you're playing the new effect. So that's not, I love the sound of that clean tone. That sounds so good. It's got a real good tone to it. So you can come up here, you can go to your next effect, and see I modified that, so it's going to ask me to save. And can I save it? Yes. I can just click save, and I don't have to, I can change the name. I don't have to though. So yeah, let's go to the next one, which is, we know what that is. We'll go ahead and save that. Listen to the delay on that. Let's see if we can't turn that up just a little. Now, gives you the option to sync as well. That is super cool. I like that. If you're wondering, I have not adjusted just basically what you've seen on screen, and the very first one that sounded real good through the carving, that was so high gain through this one, through the interface actually. It's a pretty nice little clean tone. You can download the user IRs for this. However, I have not done that. The IRs is something I think that you have to get into and create an account and all that, which I may do later on. Not really sure yet if I want to do that. But you get all of these different cabinets to pick from, and right here is look at this list. I mean, come on, man. And here's some user IRs. Those are empty spots, though, to write different IRs to. That's basically the Valeton GP-100. I guess that's Valeton, I'm not sure. But that is how you plug it up to the computer. You download the software from the Valeton website, and then you can edit any effect. You get this signal chain here. You can move stuff around. You can do this. Most of them have the amp like right in here. But what I like to do is move the amp to the end because I know on my headrush that gets a richer sound from the effects that you add after the amp. We have a lot. There's a preamp here. You can choose from these different preamps on this. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool little device. So yeah, guys, there you have it. That's the Valeton GP-100. Pretty impressive little unit, although I will have to say that I like the sound better through the carbon than I did on there, but who am I kidding? We all have to dial in for whatever. My old MX5 that I had patches that were just for the interface and then just for the amps. So your sound will change between the two of them. But yeah, it's a pretty cool deal. You can download patches that people's created. You can download different IRs to this. You can download all kinds of really cool stuff for this little pedal. I kind of regret giving this thing away, but it's going to be back here for quite some time. So there may be a future video with this. I'm not really sure. Depends on whether or not that I get to get in there and find a way to get patches downloaded to this that will sound good through the interface, or spend some time creating patches just for the interface. The clean tone sounds amazing on the interface. It's just the high gain and distortion is going to take a little bit of tinkering to find that tone that will sound good through an interface as opposed to just through an amplifier. Because the number one preset I did yesterday and actually dialed it in through the carbon sounded stellar. I loved the sound of it through that carbon. However, through the interface straight to you guys, everything has a different tone. You get the unit for what it is, and you have to redial stuff in. On today's video, today's guitar was red. Red is my Ibanez RG3 EXFM1 guitar. Love this guitar. I've played this guitar for a long time. It needs a good cleanup. Put new strings on it a while back, and this is just a stellar guitar. So that's what we played through today, and that is where most of the sound come from. So let's list pros and cons. Pros: the flexibility of it, all of the different effects that you get with that unit. That is a pro. Another pro is the simplicity of the editing software was just awesome. Now, I will say the simplicity of the Blackstar amplifier software was definitely on par. That was, I love that one. But this one, being as it has a whole lot more in this little box to offer than the Blackstar did, I would have to give this one an A all the way up on the editing software. 2 thumbs up on that. Has a drum machine. The drum machine I really didn't display to you guys. That may be in a future video too, because I've not really played with that all that well. I should have tried that on here and let you guys listen to that, and I neglected to do that today. So that'll be in a future video, so we can check that out. Another pro is the fact that you have stereo outs. How small it is. I mean, this is about as mobile as you can get for an effects processor, especially one of this caliber. Let's see, another pro: cost. $149 on Amazon right now, and you can't hardly beat that. So you beginning musicians out there that are wanting to get into playing guitar and stuff like that, this is something that you could really start with to help you along your journey, and you really start figuring out what does what different pedals are, sound like, and stuff like that. The cons: that little expression pedal. That's the only con I have about this. I think that if they just did away with that and give you a 1/4-inch expression pedal outlet here to plug in something like a Nextar or some other kind of expression pedal, that would have been cool. I think that would have been awesome. or just leave this for a volume and then use an expression out to an expression pedal. That would have been cool. But considering that doesn't even bother me. I mean, just the effects and the stuff that this thing does alone is simply amazing. So guys, they are on Amazon right now. You can get them. They are $149. I am not sponsored by Valeton, by Amazon, by any of those guys. This review is 110% my opinion. Take it for what it is. No one is telling me to say anything particular about this pedal. It's just a pedal that I could not stand 3 years ago, but now that I've played with it more, I do like it again. So guys, I really appreciate you coming in and checking this video out with me. Got some cool stuff coming up, got some more guitar repair stuff, and I did get a good friend of mine recommended this to me. It's called a Miracle Cloth, all-purpose polishing cloth. This is what he says he polishes his frets with. After he polishes them, buffs them, or whatever, he polishes with this, and they always work pretty good. And then I told him about the Flitz all steel, all metal polish, and he ordered some of that. So we kind of feed off of each other when it comes to recommendations. Justin told me, beware, once you get this package, your studio is going to smell like suntan lotion, and it does. It just smells like 1980s sitting at a pool or on a beach or something, just suntan lotion, because it's infused with coconut oil. So, but I'm excited to use this. We're going to use this on our next project. Thanks to Brant from Tone Jaeger, I went out and got a bunch of Scotch-Brite, all different grits from coarse to extremely fine. Got some of those that are going to help me out on the real dingy frets that I can't. I'm tired of using steel wool. So Brant, I'm following after you again, brother. We're going to do something about that that isn't going to leave little steel particulates all over the place and stuck to the magnet pole pieces on my pickups. That's just aggravating to me to have to get that stuff off and tape them up every time. So yeah, that's it, guys. I really appreciate it. As always, I hope you and yours have the most blessed day ever. And I pray that God is with you all. Until next time, later. Aren't you even going to wake up? You're just going to snooze during the whole video. You're just going to lay there and snooze. It's terrible, dude. Just terrible.